sure you know the story of the lost sheep. In the parable that Jesus tells, he speaks of a shepherd saying, which of you, having 100 sheep and having one of those sheep lost, would not leave the other 99 on the hillside and go in search of that lost sheep? And he tells of the shepherd who, after looking for the sheep, finds him. And when he finds him, gathers him up in his arms and puts him on his shoulders and triumphantly and lovingly carries him all the way home. And when they arrive at home, he invites all of those around to join in the celebration and the rejoicing for that sheep that was lost, which has now been found. And it's a wonderful story that maybe we heard as children or preached in church one day or during an evangelism, or maybe it was us, we were the lost sheep that were found by Jesus. And I often think of the story, what it must have been like from the point of view of the sheep. Perhaps he was distracted. Perhaps one day he was munching on a particularly delicious patch of grass and the rest of his flock wandered off. And he, trying to find them, got more and more lost. Perhaps he got tangled up in a thicket. And perhaps he was scared and bleating for his life until he suddenly heard the voice of his shepherd coming towards him, seeking him out. And the shepherd, upon finding him, frees him from the thicket, gathers him lovingly into his arms, hoists him up upon his shoulders, and carries that sheep all the way home. And when they get home, he's met with joy, he's met with rejoicing. That sheep must have thought, wow, I must be someone really special. I must be so important. There must be something in me that is so valuable that the shepherd would leave the 99 and just come in search of me. But you know, there's a deeper level to the story, there's a deeper meaning to the story than simply the value of a sinner's life. In these parables, Jesus was trying to illustrate the heart of the Father. In Matthew chapter 7, Jesus says, ask and it will be given unto you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened unto you. And all through the Gospels, we are shown examples of people who recognize their need of Jesus, the heart of Jesus being moved, and how Jesus was prepared to go out of his way to meet their needs, to speak to them, to meet with them, to heal them, to raise Lazarus from the dead. It's almost as if the heart of the Father is moved when he sees people who recognize their need for him. And in Luke chapter 15, the parable of the lost sheep and the parable of the lost coin and the parable of the prodigal son all serve to show the heart of this Father who will leave the 99 and go in search of the one, who is ready to wait for the prodigal son to return and go out to meet him. The message in the parable of the lost sheep is not the greatness of our value as sheep. It is in the greatness of the heart of our Savior.